Infants are subject to diseases. Infants are subject to diseases. Import goods are subject to high taxes. Import goods are subject to high taxes. He is subject to insomnia. He is subject to insomnia. He is subject to the criticism of his colleagues. He is subject to the criticism of his colleagues. He is subject to colds. He is subject to colds. He is subject to fits of anger. He is subject to fits of anger. Japan is subject to earthquakes. Japan is subject to earthquakes. Men are subject to temptation. Men are subject to temptation. My son is subject to ill health. My son is subject to ill health. Children are subject to their parents' rules. Children are subject to their parents' rules. My sister is subject to colds. My sister is subject to colds. Specifications and price are subject to change. Specifications and price are subject to change. My wife is subject to moods. My wife is subject to moods. We are subject to the Constitution of Japan. We are subject to the Constitution of Japan. Tokyo is subject to typhoon in summer. Tokyo is subject to typhoon in summer. The prices are subject to change without notice. The prices are subject to change without notice. A man of strong will is not subject to corruption. A man of strong will is not subject to corruption. The tomato is subject to number of diseases. The tomato is subject to number of diseases. The arrangements are subject to change without notice. The arrangements are subject to change without notice. The plan is subject to his approval. The plan is subject to his approval. Everybody must be subject to law. Everybody must be subject to law. Everybody is subject to law. Everybody is subject to law. This country was subject to a neighboring country. This country was subject to a neighboring country. Everything is subject to the laws of nature. Everything is subject to the laws of nature. Are you subject to colds? Are you subject to colds? I am subject to headaches. I am subject to headaches. That is subject to punishment. That is subject to punishment. The price is subject to violent fluctuation. The price is subject to violent fluctuation. I am subject to fits of nightmare. I am subject to fits of nightmare. The plan is subject to your approval. The plan is subject to your approval. They are subject to rigid discipline. They are subject to rigid discipline. We are subject to change our plans if the president disagrees. We are subject to change our plans if the president disagrees. I was subjected to a domiciliary visit. I was subjected to a domiciliary visit. He was subjected to insult. He was subjected to insult. His latest novel was subjected to severe criticism. His latest novel was subjected to severe criticism. She has been subjected to criticism. She has been subjected to criticism. He was subjected to torture by the police. He was subjected to torture by the police. He has been subjected to license suspension twice for speeding. He has been subjected to license suspension twice for speeding. The captives were subjected to humiliating treatment. The captives were subjected to humiliating treatment.